Hey, everybody, welcome back to Occults Receivable. I'm Anthony, and I'm here with Theresa,
Hello.
and we are going to get back into Raging Loop, which, I forgot, how did I start this before? Was it read? Yes. Um, okay, so last time, let's see, who's dead? Old Man Who Cried Wolf is dead, Mochi is dead, um,
Other
the
old
other
man.
other old man is dead.
Slightly less old man.
um, and gangster youth, delinquent youth. He's dead. I can't remember
Yeah,
any of the
delinquent
goddamn names.
youth.
Um,
It's fine. They all have kind of old-fashioned names.
they do, which is remember how I said that this is kind of like purgatory.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still leading into this being purgatory.
Yeah.
Um,
Could be purgatory, or it could just be that they're so removed from civilization, like they haven't kind of got with it. Like their idea of modern just has not caught up.
maybe. All I know is that the only guiding light that the protagonist Haruaki has is his boner,
Yep.
and we are
He's
going to
following his dick.
follow his boner into absolute certain doom. There's no way he is going to
Mm-hmm.
succeed, uh, only because he will have chosen every wrong answer previously.
Yep.
Um, I had no idea just how. I don't even remember what these predictions were about, but that's okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Oh yeah, we've been here a couple of days now.
Yeah. Oh, and we predicted Smart Youth, whose name I also can't remember.
Yasu.
Yasu?
Yasu. Yes,
He's
he's gonna
either
be
the
done.
werewolf or he's going to be dead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Yasu's dead.
Yeah.
Because um, so right now, they need to figure out who. They're probably going to use the crow, or they did use the crow to find out if the old man was the wolf, and Mochi was just kind of killed in the crossfire. It seemed. Um, we also have that running theory. Mochi said that he was the monkey, along with Mako,
Right.
and we do not think that they're monkeys.
No.
Um, So yeah, that is where I believe we're at. So
Yep,
uh,
that
I
sounds
I,
correct.
wo- I woke up at 5 in the morning. The window was still boarded up, so I couldn't see anything outside. All I could do was sit around and wait. Eventually, I could
Oh,
hear
yeah,
the
that's right.
they boarded us up in the room because they didn't trust us. Rightfully so. That's
Rightfully
all right.
so. We're a
I'm going to
dick.
break through these boards with my raging boner. Um,
Oh,
eventually,
no.
I know.
I hope he takes his raging boner that can break boards and walks it right to a doctor.
Eventually, I could hear the objects keeping me in get removed, and I was greeted by Yasunaga Oribe and Chiemi Serizawa. Oh,
Oh,
Yasu
shit.
didn't die.
Okay, so werewolf's looking pretty certain here.
Maybe. Well, okay, so there's two werewolves. It might be these two.
Yeah.
Those two actually survived. I met up with Haru Makishima too. Her face was pale and she had bags under her eyes. No one here looked healthy anymore, but she was beyond even that point. So
Well,
here,
she just lost her grandpa and her bestie.
and the one, okay, so here's the thing that's really still bothering me is that she reacted like she knew her grandfather died, which
Mm-hmm.
again would be, I think what we were saying was that we believe she was the monkey because the monkeys always know who the other monkey is, and if her
Yeah.
grandfather died, she would probably have felt that. And the
Yeah,
reason
it
why
would make
she
sense that
didn't
she'd know.
the reason why she didn't speak up when uh, Chiemi asked who the monkeys were is because she was so out of it from the shock of losing her grandfather, and Mochi capitalized on that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, I'm wondering if Mochi was doing that for another reason, or if Mochi was a wolf.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, there's also like the game itself is positing that Haru is a werewolf just because what was our shitty pro tag saying? He was saying something about how the women in this tiny community tend to follow the lead of the men, so that if they had a heterosexual pair of werewolves, a male and a female, then the female would just follow the male's lead, even if she didn't necessarily agree with it.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So she's either Either a monkey or a wolf, and we just don't know.
Yeah, all right, I remember that. Okay. So her face was pale, she had bags under her eyes. Yeah, okay, I read that. She'd gone completely meek, too. The defiance from yesterday was gone, and she was just letting Yasunaga-kun guide her. She'd lost another friend, after all.
Thanks for reminding us, buddy.
I know, right? We arrived at the dining hall, but found no one there. The door was unlocked. That was a bad sign. It was Kanzo Makishima's place all over again. Oh shit, did maybe the mother go?
Oh, what a twist!
With that knowledge, I opened the door. What if she was attacked? Even if she wasn't, considering her state yesterday, it wasn't unlikely she did something unthinkable such as suicide. However, I soon found out my worries were for nothing. Oh. Kaori-san was standing all alone in the dark dining hall wearing an apron. The fact that she wasn't doing anything but standing was just eerie. Yeah, no, I would get the fuck out of there.
Where would you go in this foggy hell village?
Oh god, look at her eyes.
She looks so rough.
Oh no. Oh god, that's bad.
Yeah.
You think now's a good time to ask about her dead husband?
I mean, if we get the option, yes. I don't think it's gonna let us ask, though.
She turned around and greeted us. Her voice was the only thing calm about her. Her eyes were bloodshot and signs of malnourishment were all across her face. Her faint, forced smile made her seem on the verge of collapse. She completely failed at acting normal. Her heart was probably swirling with panic and sorrow as great as yesterday. Everyone here could see it.
Finally! Why didn't you do that yesterday, you little shit?
But she already has her apron on. She would have to cook. She is woman.
God.
Oh god, she looks awful. That is a broken person.
Yeah.
After they volunteered to support Kaori-san, I thought about what purpose I could serve here. I thought about what purpose I could serve here. Goodbye! And called to Hana-chan before going outside. At least he's self-aware he's useless.
Yes. Oh, good. The ellipses conversation.
Yes. She came with me but wasn't saying... Okay. Oh, so I was talking about this with Hillary, and it was... Before we go on, I got to address this. So, I was thinking about this the other day, about why the hell do we dislike Haruaki as a protagonist so much? And there's a bunch... Aside from the fact that he's a creep that thinks with his dick. The thing that bothers me the most is that he is a complete non-entity in this game. Like, he is nondescript, undisclosed major graduate student that can somehow deal with, massacred bodies.
Yeah.
And he speaks with undeserved confidence. Now, like, I don't know if you've ever played the Danganronpa series, Teresa, or seen any playthroughs of it.
I have not.
The main character in that, Makoto Naegi, he serves the exact same role that Haruaki does, but he's definitely like the stand-in for the audience. He is the audience XP because he is the center of a whirlwind of eccentric, like, ultimate characters, like the ultimate athlete, the ultimate clairvoyant. It's all ridiculousness, and he has no ultimate ability. He is just John Everyman.
Okay.
And he doesn't yeah, they're put into this ridiculous life or death situation, and while he has like deductive reasoning, he also has the help of the ultimate detective to sort of aid him in his his logic train. The thing about Haruaki is that he doesn't have his special ability is fucking up until he gets it right.
Yes.
And that's not a special ability. So all of this stuff that he's like, he speaks with such undeserved confidence. Like when right before the feast, when he was telling Chiemi, he's like, "Make the monkeys reveal themselves. You will, and then just give it a second. You'll follow my logic." It's like, no, dude, you've only arrived at the conclusion because you fucked up I don't know how many other times until you got it right. There's no basis for logic or any reason. You everything that you have such undeserved confidence into what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and every you know every situation he's being put into, it sucks that we are in this sort of in his body. Like it sucks that we're piloting him and not like
Hmm.
Chiemi.
Right?
I think so. Honestly, this game would have been so much better if keep all the characters, even keep Haruaki, but play from Chiemi's point of view.
Yeah. Unless she's the werewolf, in which
Unless
case I
she's,
don't know that that would be possible.
I don't think she's the werewolf.
Or
I
this
think
would
she
be a
just.
different kind of game.
I mean, there's still a lot you could do. The other thing that this game does that I've seen done in the past, the Zero Time Dilemma series, 9 persons, 9 doors, 9 whatever, um, Zero Escape, and Virtue's Last Reward. Um, they do the timeline thing where you kind of jump between your past self, but there's an in-universe explanation for it.
Hmm.
Um, it has something to do with psychics. It's actually super interesting. If you ever want to play, I highly recommend it. They're great fucking games.
Okay. Add it to the list.
Um, but the so it's using the same sort of timeline mechanic as Zero Time Dilemma, but Haruaki is just so unlikable. He's like that narcissistic dick that has to be right, even though
Hmm.
he's very clearly saying something wrong.
Yep.
Okay. During yesterday's feast, she'd had a fight with Kaori-san. Um, the woman had voted for Haru-chan due to the change in her attitude and failed escape attempt, and I couldn't blame her for that. Considering her personality, I imagined that the exchange had been extremely intense. That was why getting her out of the dining hall was a good move. Problem was,
Pat
we didn't.
yourself harder on the ass, Haruaki.
I know. Problem was, we didn't really have anything to talk about. This was made worse by the hostility she'd shown me until just recently. According to Mochi, that was a product of her affection toward Yasunaga-kun and all the drama surrounding him. Okay, that's the other thing about this that's kind of driving me crazy is all the really weird, like, romantic subplots that I could really do without because I'm here for murders.
Yeah, I know, right? And it's all just like really forced. It's like that leftover option or whatever because like you've got to pair off every single man and woman together and then well what happens when you've got like the last two characters? Well, I guess even if they have uh no charisma together, they
Uh-huh.
have no
Chemistry.
chemistry. That's the word I wanted. They have no
Yeah.
chemistry. It's like, well, we're going to smash them together anyway because, what else, do boys and girls have but
Yes.
sex? Because that's the only kind of relationship they can have.
Okay, and according to Hillary in the chat, he is the Dunning-Kruger effect as a human being, which is when a person's lack of knowledge and skills in certain area cause them to overestimate their own competence. That is exactly it. That is
Yeah.
exactly Haruaki. Um, Normally I'd playfully give her a hard time about that kind of thing, but it seemed in poor taste considering the situation.
You think?
Oh, stink guy.
Oh,
She was
good
staring
stink eye.
daggers at me.
Hell
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe I just had to ask her.
春さん、
何ですか？
単刀直入に聞くが、君は狼か？
I'll be frank, and you be the wolf.
違うわよ。
Of course she's gonna say. Is she you're gonna catch her off guard and say, "Yeah, I'm the wolf"?
God.
She didn't hesitate at all. Not like that meant anything. I wonder if this is where she's gonna say she was the monkey.
何よ、納得いかないの？じゃあ、匠兄に調べてもらうわよ。それではっきりするでしょ？
気づいて言ってるのか？
は？何を？
彼が生きていれば、食堂で香織さんを介抱してるのは彼だったはずだ。
Oh shit! Is Takumi dead?
昨日も彼は起
Maybe.
きてすぐ食堂に行っていた。香織さんが弱っている今、そうすべき理由はさらに強まった。でも、
嘘でしょ。そんなこと。
それを今から調べに行くから案内して。
わかった。 タエバー起きてる？
Haru knocked on the door and tried to open it, but it was locked, meaning it wasn't touched. Tai-san came out sooner than later. She looked pretty displeased to begin with, but upon seeing me, she displayed outright disgust.
Mood.
Better get used to that, Haruaki.
すみません。香織さんの具合が悪くて人手が足りず。
匠はどうしたね。
今から見に行きます。
There we go. There was the sound.
そうね。
Her gloomy expression told me she'd realized what might have happened. She said she had to prepare, so we excused
必要なも
ourselves.
のがあったら言ってくださいね。
はいはいはい。
She shut the door on us.
女なら誰にでも優しいんですね。
I should be nice to everybody. What the hell was she
お年
saying?
寄りと女性を思いやるのが紳士ってものだろ。
知恵姉もそうなの？
彼女にはそれなりに好意を持ってる。
I don't care about this.
やめてよ。兄ちゃんがかわいそう。
兄ちゃん、Yasunaga-kun, surely.
かわいそうとは？
よし君ももっちも死んじゃって、兄ちゃんには香織さんと知恵姉しかいないのよ。それに
Okay.
知恵姉は私らの中で一番強くて、上藤吉のやつらや大人たちからいつも私らを守ってくれた。私らから知恵姉を取らないでよ。
So that's how it was. I wasn't sure how she actually felt about Chiemi, but there was definitely more trust and reliance than I'd expected. Yasunaga-kun spoke like he'd given up on Chiemi, but deep down, he was actually glad she had returned. Haru-chan was aware of that, and she actually liked Chiemi. That was why she concluded that they should be together. However, it was clear she didn't feel like giving them her blessing.
君の気持ちは分かったよ。
I genuinely do not care about this. Now, what does this serve? How does this serve the narrative? The end result depended on Chiemi, and since she hated Yasumizu, I felt like it wouldn't be something Haru-chan wanted. Then again, I really didn't know what was going on in Chiemi's head either, and I had no idea who'd survive, so making predictions was a waste of time.
とにかく今は宴を終わらせるという一点に
Yeah,
集中すべきだ。
let's focus on everyone not dying and dealing with the werewolves. That makes sense.
僕には大したことができないかもしれないが、身内に話しづらいことでもあれば、相談には乗るよ。
Don't tell him a goddamn thing, Haru. Yeah.
何それ？
I think he suspects that she's the monkey.
いや、何ってこともないけ
Maybe.
ど、君は悩みが多そうだし。
Again, I feel like he would suspect that by virtue of him missing this, having died, and then being shunted back into his body
あと、外に逃げるっ
with
て選
knowledge that
択。
he got
僕
because
はまだありだと思ってるから。
apparently he's unkillable.
Knowledge he got for being an
それは
idiot.
無理よ。
君は可能性にかけて逃げたんじゃないのかい？
でも逃げられなかったじゃない。だから分かった。逃げるなんてできないのよ。
それはたまたま怪我をしたからじゃ。
Didn't she have a whole tree branch through her foot yesterday?
Yeah, I was
She's
just
just walking around like NBD.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, and like I winced in pain as I remembered.
たまたまなんかじゃない。
君も神様を信じてるのか？
Okay.
何を聞いた？
Oh, that's an
そ
intense
んな
look.
ものいない。そう考えなきゃやってられない。
Yeah, God doesn't exist and everything's pointless. Nihilism!
Spoken like a true millennial.
There was
Although
a
I guess
weird-
she might be Gen X or Gen Z if
She's Gen Z.
yeah.
There was a weird aura about her for a sec, but then she walked away, leaving me no choice but to follow her.
I mean, you didn't have to follow her.
We arrived at the houses. The mysterious girl was on the verge of
おは
crying.
よう。どうしたの？
はっきり喋りなさいよ。喋れるでしょ、あんた。
I guess not.
大人げないな。はい。おはようございます。
Okay.
I guess I know why they call her Mako.
Why?
It's the only noise she can make.
Oh, okay.
Nay, nay, nay.
Nay. This was hopeless. Haruchan glared at her while I stayed patient.
リカ子さんは
Oh, look at me. I'm so reasonable and patient. I'm such a nice guy.
うん。どこ
出てこない。
She hasn't
こ
come
こよ
out.
あいつの家。
It really was. I'd been here yesterday. I knocked and called out to her. There was no response. Haruchan and I looked at each other and I tried opening the door. It was locked.
リカ子さん
Still no response. I hesitantly put my ear against the door.
You know, something that really bothers me about this guy, too, is he insists on using people's first names.
Yeah, it's... Yeah.
Like, that's such a huge social thing in Japan. The fact that he is choosing to ignore it and address everyone by their first name, regardless of how well he knows them. Like,
Yeah.
the way he calls Haru-chan instead of using her last name, even though he just met her like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It really says something about the sort of asshole personality. Like, he's so confident and casual. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna call you by your first name because I'm a badass.
Which is a huge thing, too, considering this has been very explicitly painted as a very traditionally conservative Japanese, like, town.
Yeah, and I mean, like, Haru even got angry at him for calling her Haru-chan, and yet he continues to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was listening to it, because, you know, maybe they were doing that because of the localization. They were using but no, he's actually saying it in the Japanese.
Mm-hmm, yep.
多分着替え中か何かだろ
じゃあ、やっぱり。
Wait, what?
うまだわからないまだ清之助しかもしれない
私がどうしたと
Ugh.
The fuck you say about me? Oh, it's this guy,
He's
the other pleasant guy.
Our
No,
other
he's an
favorite guy.
He's an asshole. He's gonna live forever.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I did expect him to
リ
live.
カ子さんは大丈夫かね
あなたはそればっかりですね一応大丈夫そうですよまだ出てきてないですがどうかしたんですか
Why don't you barge in there and find out?
嫌な予感がしてな
I hope not.
杞憂ならいいしかしそうなると死んだのは山脇老人か
タイバーは生きてた。
なんだと
So it looks like it's Takumi. Why was he so
は
positive?
るちゃん
Why
は
was he
メイ
so
コを連れて
positive?
食堂へ清之助さん手を貸してください
Look at this guy. He's been in the village for 3 days and he's already ordering people around.
I know, right?
Ugh.
He tried to say something but decided against it. He must have realized what had happened to the one who'd usually be given these annoying jobs. Yeah, Takumi, I think, is dead.
Yeah.
As expected, the door to his house was unlocked. And the reek of fresh blood was so strong you could smell it outside. I thought that was enough to help me prepare. But once I saw the source, I couldn't keep down what few contents my stomach had left. Damn! The two from the first day, Kanzo Makishima and Yoshitsugu Oribe, they'd lost all semblance of form to the point their corpses felt unrealistic. On the other hand, Chikamochi Kamoshida and the old wolf guy's corpses were far too clean. Their faces were still intact after all. Yeah, they were absolutely murdered by somebody. Like, that wasn't the wolf.
Yeah.
However, Takumi Muro-san's corpse was an even balance between ruined and intact.
The old man's corpse was just like his head was bashed in, but the rest was fairly, like, untouched, too.
Yeah. It was spread out on the floor, surrounded by splashes and splotches of blood, as well as some bloody footprints. Scattered brain, gray matter, bone fragments, eyes. Damn!
Oh, Jesus.
About 60% of his face was gone. This time the method was clear. There was a rifle lying next to his corpse. The weapon was actually on the scene for once, and it was a gun. What did it mean? The werewolves have learned to use guns!
It's like that Hellboy comic.
Yes!
He's got a gun! Exactly what I'm talking about. I love it.
That was the monkey, right?
Yep, that was the monkey.
The monkey had the gun. I wanted to think about that, but I was too shaken by the clear agony Takumi-san's death had brought him. Oh, you know what happens when Yasu does die, because Yasu's probably going to die. Kaori is going to go ape shit because Takumi's not here anymore either.
Yep.
Like, that is going to be the final straw.
Yeah, they're taking out all of the characters that are important to her.
I wonder if that's, like, relevant.
I also...
You could see his suffering on the still present half of his face. God!
Well, first it was 60% of his face is gone, and now he's got half of his face. Which is it?
Which is it? Get your numbers right, God. His hands were on his head, too, as if to cover his face or reach for the clearly fatal wound. He died while holding on to his shattered brain. Oh!
Wow, game.
Wow! Though fatal, the first attack hadn't killed him instantly. He could still move after it, which was a testament to his strength and willpower. His life had ended as he suffered overwhelming despair. It was written all too clearly on his death visage. My emotions bubbled and overwhelmed my thoughts, and I vomited once again. I hear all my feelings.
I'm so manly and smart, except when I'm not.
Are you okay? No, dude, I just vomited all of my feelings. Kyonosuke asked, clearly avoiding looking at it himself. Bring me a werewolf.
Well, that would be me. I'm here, the guy who uses guns. Wait, what?
Wait. Her expression was too stern and serious for me to even say that. Why is Chiemi here? Can she use guns? She cursed and looked at the gun. Huh. She grasped its long body and picked it up.
Hey, we found somebody who knows guns.
I found them real quick. They were covered in blood and flesh, but yeah, I found the metallic cylinders, 5 of them. They were 2 meters away from the corpse, very close to one another. Either the culprit fired from there or gathered them afterwards. They were fired, probably. Look at the handle. Chiemi extended the rifle to me. I did as told. Compared to the rest of the gun, which had blood on every part, the handle was clean, like it had been wiped. Why? Are any of you guys forensic experts? We already know the cops aren't going to get involved.
Well, Haruaki clearly is a forensics guy. Obviously, that's what he went to college for. Now his only useful skill is useless.
Chiemi then held it like she was about to shoot and aimed at Takumi-san's body. From a low angle.
It was a short werewolf.
Okay. That was why it was natural to think it had been fired from where she was standing, near the cartridges.
I mean, even if the target is moving, you can hit it. Just get good.
It's not especially hard to use a gun.
I'm still a fan of the Mako is the werewolf theory, because she said it was fired from low down.
Yeah.
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 That's a very good way to put it.
They don't need to load it. If it was already loaded, just fire the 5 shots and be done with it.
Yeah. Oh, even Taibacha. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody can do it.
Yeah, this was a settlement where the people went hunting. Basically, everyone here must have touched rifles before. All we could really assume was that Mako-chan couldn't have done this.
No, she absolutely did
That-
it.
that's a
The tiniest
massive
werewolf
assumption.
with the biggest gun.
I know my next D&D character.
全弾命中してるわけじゃない。どうやら1発は耳に、2発は胸と肩に。あ、ここにも弾痕。
Okay, she pointed at a small part of the floor that was
頭
ruined.
部に当たったのは一発だけか。
That's really all you need.
そうだね。もしかしたらそれは致命傷じゃなくて、胸の一発がとどめだったのかも。
Huh. She looked at the body's pose and made the same conclusion to me.
ちなみになんでそんなに詳しいの？
Oh, because
She
I
just
shot him.
explained it,
私
buddy.
も狩猟免許持ってる。銃も罠も網も全部使える。
See, it's
Because everybody in this village hunts. Yes, she knows guns.
I
Oh,
also-
wait, are you insinuating she couldn't know because she's a girl? Probably.
probably,
Sorry, go
but
ahead.
also this just reinforces my idea that this game would be a lot more enjoyable if you were playing as Chiemi.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
like having all of this knowledge would also reinforce like her leaps in logic and her deductive skills. Whereas
Yeah.
I guess Haruaki has just played a lot of video games.
外ではクレー射撃何度も行ったし、それなりに慣れてるよ。
Oh damn, she did skeet shooting. That's fucking hard as hell.
なんとすごいな。意外な一面だ。
Yeah,
Man.
dude, she's out of your league.
So far out of your league.
いずれ戻ってここで漁師になるつもりだったの？
No.
銃を持ちたかった。それだけ。
She said that as if it were no big deal. Her tone seemed kind of dangerous.
ええ。まあ人を殺しかけたりとか。
Oh.
中学の時かな。安水の子らをいじめてた分校の上級生らを
That's right.
バットでボッコボッコ。
She's a bit of a wild card. She's a little bit of a stallion. That's all right. She's a badass.
She is a badass.
It was the impression you get from a girl capable of random acts of violence.
There's no
Of
other
cour-
reason a girl could ever possibly want a gun.
I was probably jumping to conclusions.
もう
Yep.
片付けてもいいかな。
春明さんがいいなら。
Yeah, get to it, Haruaki. You're the janitor
Yeah.
じゃあ片
Were
付
you
け
just standing there, janitor?
何か分かった？
一連の殺人が人間の犯行だってことに確信を持っただけ。
The culprit used a gun and wiped off the fingerprints, acts that demonstrated a very human level of cunning. If we were up against something supernatural, they'd just use their mysterious powers instead. If something mysterious can be explained using mundane means, then it was caused by mundane means. That was a general rule I'd lived by, proven through both knowledge and first-hand experience.
Oh,
How
God,
many
this guy's
supernatural
so
experience
fucking
has he lived
pretentious.
through? Supernatural powers that required carrying out occult rituals were prime examples of things it applied to. Everyone knows wizards can't use handkerchiefs. The more detailed the preparation required, the more opportunities to notice something amiss. If the trick relied on concealing the method, it was safe to assume the method was something mundane. Even this death wasn't caused by some kind of supernatural force. It just happened unobserved. We had people who could do it and the methods that fit. That was the best way to look at it, right?
そうかもね。
No, I don't think I am.
多分殺してるのは私の知ってる誰かと誰か。紛れもない。
I still say the werewolves have guns now.
Yeah,
でも
absolutely.
それは
Didn't that go against her whole god story? I wanted to ask that, but seeing her eyes made me fall silent. Her eyes were wide and cloudy. They don't... Okay.
Oh,
Demo ne.
oh no, is she developing cataracts?
Her lips let out clear
神
words.
様からは
I looked away. I probably wanted to cover my ears, too.
誰も逃げられないんだよね。
Okay, no one can escape God. I found her words so irrational it began to frighten me. I asked Chiemi to call Kionosuke to help carry the corpse, but she insisted on doing it herself. I caved and we began the unpleasant task. Following Takumi-san's example, I removed the door and placed his body on it. Chiemi and I took an end of the door and lifted it up. He was as heavy as he looked, and I wouldn't have been surprised if this was too much even for two men. However, Chiemi lifted her side without letting out a single grunt of exertion. It felt like active rejection of the idea that she might need help. Or she's super strong. We slowly began
Yeah,
walking.
I mean, like, just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's got no muscle. Jeez. Like, if she's living out here and hunting and shit, yeah, she's probably pretty damn fit.
Yeah, Kyonosuke was outside. He was anxious about something. It didn't look like he was waiting for us, so maybe Rikako Uematsu hadn't come out yet. I couldn't afford to stop and chat. Relaxing my arms or lower body could lead to me dropping Takumi-san. I kept walking forward without a single word. Sighing and stopping was our sign that one of us needed to rest. Every time one of us did it, we lowered him to the ground, rubbed our aching hands, adjusted our grips, and resumed walking. As we approached the cliff, Chiemi's expression grew darker.
匠兄ちゃんは安水で一番年の近いお兄ちゃんだったから。
I wasn't going to ask how that mattered. I didn't see a point in questioning it. I simply nodded, continuing to play the role of audience.
昔はいっぱい遊んでくれたし、怒られた時はかばってくれた。こんな何もない湿っぽい場所だけど、匠兄ちゃんは安水を、ここに住む人を愛してた。
そうだね。わかるよ。
まっすぐな人だった。捨てたくないよ。
ああ、当然だと思う。僕だってこんなやり方はしたく
I
ない。
don't like this either. Well, over you go.
やめる。このやり方にこだわりそうなのは、匠さん本人とタイさんくらいしかいないんじゃないの？
しなきゃダメ。
汚れか。
I continued asking if she was sure, but she didn't change her mind, so he ended up throwing his body into Saranaga. We walked through the graveyard, careful not to trip. We could now see the hanging pine through the mist. Our destination was near. We carefully closed in on the cliff and pushed the door towards it.
さよなら、匠兄ちゃん。
She said that right as I felt the body slide off. It was falling. I'd done this several times now, but it still made me feel empty. It would eventually hit the water, make a splash, and that'd be it. Huh?
水音した?
さあ。
You know, there's some town downriver where these corpses keep washing up. Like, what the fuck?
You're absolutely right.
like throwing a body into the river doesn't mean it's gone forever. It just means that downriver, somebody's gonna have a real awful time.
聞き違いか?
あるいは、サラナガの底が抜けて、黄泉の国に繋がってるのかも。
本当にファンタジーだね。
I bet that's exactly what happened.
Okay, so, I mean, they should be able to hear a river. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
But counterpoint, I do understand that, like, mist can really deaden sound. So it, again, might just be the weather effect is
Maybe.
fucking with things.
霧の向こうに何があるか、誰も知らない。誰も。
今から降りてみせようか。
Yeah, push him.
Yes! Do it!
あなたは帰ってこない。
That was how she saw the world.
戻ろう。
We returned to do another investigation of Takumi-san's house, but something strange had happened while we were gone. Kyonosuke was still in the same spot, in front of Rikako Uematsu's house, waiting for her without even trying to hide his frustration.
まだ出てこないんですか?
まったく大丈夫そうと言ったのは君だが、どういう根拠だったのかね。
音がしたから。
待ってる間に、あなた自身で呼んでみればよかったんじゃないですか。
Yeah.
そんなぶしつけなことができるか。
Oh my god. As if I could do something so rude, but I'm gonna keep complaining
the
about
rudest
it.
man in this game.
なんでそんなにリカコさんにだけ気を使ってるんです？野里は上松より格上でしょうに。
That was an interesting bit of info. I hadn't realized that the head families had a hierarchy.
女性に気を使うのは当然だろう。
Okay.
That nice guy thing again. Yeah, you tell him, Chiemi.
むき出しにしてくる相手に気を使う必要があるのかね。 え
Wow, who's
勘
hostile?
弁してくださいよ。ついさっきそこで死人が出たんですよ。
Please stop. We just yeeted a body into a river. We didn't hear it land, though. That might be a thing.
It might be in the river. We're not sure, but we're
We're
just
not-
gonna assume.
That was probably one of the reasons why they were so agitated, but my comment was enough to shut
と
them
は
up.
いえ心配ですね。中で病気やら怪我やらしてたら大変だ。最悪踏み込みましょう。
Please don't.
そんなぶしつけな。
Well,
How
Chiemi is right there.
How improper. Was he the type of guy to report someone who undressed a girl to give her proper first aid? What was up with this guy's priorities?
植松さん、植松里香子さん。
I bashed the door almost violently. I heard the sound of rustling clothes. Had she collapsed or something?
植松さん、戸を開けますよ。
No answer again, only sounds. Was it really Rikaku Uematsu in there?
戸を破ります。
Chiemi nodded while Kyodosuke she gave a disgruntled sigh. The door was made from thin plywood and a wooden frame. A solid impact would break through it. I looked around and saw a few aged farming tools lying against some houses. The old wooden hoe and mallet were too rotten to work here. But the old axe looked just right.
せーの。
I lifted the axe and started counting, but had to stop midway. There
She
was
opened the
sound
door
of-
just as he swung the axe. Though.
There was the sound of clattering. The door suddenly moved. Surprised, I jumped backwards and glanced at the other two. They were just as shocked, if not frightened.
何なの？
何って、リカ子さんだろ。
植松さん。
There was no response at first, but a few seconds later, the door shook again. A moment later, it fell silent once more.
Okay, before we progress,
Uh-huh.
So the previous night we had 2 deaths, right? We had
Right.
old man and then young punk.
Yes.
And then at the tail end of the feast there were 2 more deaths.
Right.
So do you think it follows that there would be an additional 2 deaths today?
So, here's what I'm thinking. So,
Mhm.
the first night, the news reporter and her husband, they were clearly mauled by a wolf.
Yes.
You know, a werewolf. We saw the thing when we died the first time. So,
Yes.
the second night, again, werewolf. It was the old man, and the only reason why delinquent kid died is because he was out and tried to fight the thing. Otherwise,
Right.
it would have just been the old man.
But old
This-
man
Huh?
only his head was bashed in. Like, his method of death was completely different than the method of death of the reporter and her partner. Young
Fair.
Punk's death was more similar to the reporter's death, right?
Right.
Because he was like ripped to shreds.
Right. Now I'm wondering if maybe there's only one werewolf. Yeah.
Oh, Hillary says, what if it's coincidence that the deaths are double to disguise that it's a real pattern?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
okay.
so here's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if Rikako is dead, was actually killed by the werewolf, and the person who killed, and there was actually one of the other people that killed Takumi, probably the person who killed the old man who cries wolf and Mochi,
Right, yeah.
probably killed Takumi under the guise that, like, it's the werewolf.
Yes. Also, I was thinking too about how Old Man Who Cried Wolf and Mochi died. When it's been set up by the game that it was impossible that anyone at the feast could have done it, and also we know that our idiot hero couldn't have done it.
Right, there were
'cause
only
he was
5
locked up in
people.
his room. Yeah. So I'm wondering if there is at least one other person that we don't know about who is like just stalking through the woods. Yeah. And that
Maybe.
this might not necessarily be, he definitely saw the werewolf. But there might be more layers to this than just the game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, convenience store woman. From the very beginning.
You're right!
she's
Fuck, yes!
She's the one who sent us here.
She is.
Yeah.
She's too cool not to come back. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
All right. So had she collapsed on the door? If she wasn't well and was lying next to the door, breaking it open was dangerous. I put the axe down and walked up to the door again. The moment I approached it, I heard a clicking sound. I didn't even have time to question what had happened before it creaked open. There was a gap of about 20 centimeters. It was pitch black inside. And there was a face all covered in blood. Whoa!
Oh.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, that's a mouth back there. Holy shit.
Oh, okay. Alright.
It sunk back into the darkness the very next moment, but it was soon replaced by an inhuman scream and an arm that snaked out and grabbed for my neck.
Ooh.
The grip had inhuman strength behind it. I ignored Chiemi's and Kyonosuke's screams and tried to pry myself free. My throat was on the verge of crushing. The groans continued ceaselessly. The nails dug into my neck and I was being dragged inside. How the hell was she so strong? This arm clearly belonged to Rikaku Uematsu, so why? My words got them out of their stupor and they ran up to me. As panic and lack of oxygen dimmed my vision, they grabbed, bashed, and tugged at the arm that was holding on to me.
Wow.
I don't know how long it took, but when I was eventually freed, Chiemi swiftly slammed the door shut. Yeah. Sitting on the ground in shock, I simply stared at their exchange. I could still barely breathe, my vision was hazy, and I couldn't think clearly. Something inside was trying to get the door open and possibly escape. What it was, though, I had no idea. What had happened to Rikaku Uematsu? I think I peed a little. Actions are more important than words here. Stealing my resolve, I rose to my feet. We gathered everyone who could still move and sealed off Rikaku Uematsu's door and windows with planks, nails, large farming tools, and whatever else we could find. The small house was basically a pile of flimsy barricades now. Everyone was tired from all the work and sat down to rest. What's the point of doing this, though? Someone asked. We could still hear groans and crashing sounds from the inside. No one answered the question, but we all understood that letting that thing out would be a mistake. But what exactly was it anyway?
That is a very good... Oh, okay. Grandma knows.
Grandma knows. That seemed like an answer of some sort anyway.
I wonder how close Yomibito are to zombies, like your Western idea of a zombie.
I mean, they seem like they're just, Yomibito translates to, people from Yomi.
Well, people from Yomi, yes, but Grandma here is also saying corrupted, which obviously can have a lot of meanings, but I feel like corrupted is a good word to describe a zombie, right?
Yeah.
宴で殺された恨みで蘇った。
そうとは限らんのよ、はるちゃん。
Oh, so these are different Yomibito.
Oh, okay. These are cool Yomibito.
These new rules, because I've decided. Oh, or maybe this is the corruption, okay.
上松様は何かとんでもない銀を破ったのやも。
バカな！近畿の守り手、浄化を司るのが雲の家の役目だぞ。
He just spits out that she's the spider.
だからこそ、汚れに触れすぎたのかもしれぬでしょう。
Too much the corruption.
それは。
思えば安水に来られたのは黄泉の汚れを少しでも食い止めんとされたのかもしれませんね。これからどれだけ黄泉人が出るやら知れたもんじゃないわ。匠はええ子じゃった。地獄を見る前に行けてよかったやも。 しれんね。ナムシない大権現。ナムシない大権現。
Okay. A silent prayer. Her eyes were teary and her shoulders were shaking.
待て。じゃあ、リカ子さんはも
読み人はくくらねばならん。
Yeah, good luck getting her to the gallows.
Yeah, right?
How are you gonna manage that?
That didn't sit right with me. The rule was that breaking the laws meant getting the corruption, and getting the corruption meant being slaughtered, right? It was the first time I'd heard that it was possible to do something about the corruption and that she'd die because of that. Logic had little ground here, so the people were gradually losing their minds. They were being pushed closer to death. It was like this was a supernatural phenomenon.
Oh my god. Oh, her hair is messy now.
Uh-huh.
She's got little strands across her face.
食事にしませんか?
Oh, no. Oh, man.
I think, honestly, that's the scariest line I've heard so far in this game.
Right? Just with that and just that vacant 1,000-yard stare with the bags under the eyes.
Yeah.
私はもう落ち着きましたから。他のことは
Oh, God.
皆さんが落ち着いてから。
Like, on the one hand, I don't want anything to happen to Yasu. On the other hand, I want something to happen to Yasu because I want to see her freak shit.
Okay, I'm gonna posit a theory here. She's killed Yasu and she's cooked him and she's gonna serve him to the rest of the crew. It's very unlikely, but I wanted to throw that out like just in case.
That'd be fucking crazy. It was a very attractive suggestion. As we all turned away and returned to the dining hall, I felt like Rikaku Uematsu let out a groan even more inhumanly loud than any of those before. Oh, she's hungry too. Let's bring her food. Once we arrived, the place was dominated by a heavy silence. There were sounds coming from the kitchen. A kitchen knife rhythmically hit the cutting board as Kaori-san prepared the food. Tai-san was seated away from everyone, desperately yet fluently chanting a sutra. Combined with the kitchen sounds, it had a mind-numbing effect. Everyone else was simply falling into a torpor, staring silently into space. Even I, the sanest person in the room, wanted to simply let my mind shut down and stop thinking. That wouldn't stop me from trying, though. Rather than trying to evaluate the details, I decided to return to square one and summarize the current situation.
Okay, how many times have we done this now?
I know. Takumi-san was dead. That left me, Chiemi, the two Oribes, Kyonosuke-shi, Tai Yamawaki-shi, Meiko, Rikaku Uematsu, and Harumaki-shima, a total of 9. And Rikaku Uematsu, I didn't want to say she'd become a Yomibito or something, but it was clear that she was in a condition that left her functionally useless. Normally, the right thing to do here would be to take her to a hospital. I say we arm her and make her fight the werewolves.
Agreed.
But instead, they were going to discuss killing her. I'd probably have to remind them of the sound course of action. You know, as the only sane person.
I'm the only reasonable person here. All of these backwards country hicks are just superstitious and dumb.
Whatever the case, if you ignore Rikaku Uematsu and I, only 7 people were participating in the feast. With Takumi-san's death, we would never know what the snake found out about Harumaki-shima. Therefore, the only confirmed people were Kyonosuke-shi, a human, and Meiko, a monkey. We still...
doubtful.
I
doubt both of those very much.
Yes, I'm slamming X to doubt on both of those. And personally, I thought I could trust Chiemi, so that made 3. Ha! Okay. Thanks, Boner-san.
Yeah, Boner-san thinks Chiemi can be trusted, so that's fine.
Boner-san, coming in clutch with the advice. That left 4 others. This was bad. I wonder if Chiemi understood that. You know, because she's a woman.
Yeah, she might not understand it, so I'll have to talk to her in private and make it very clear that this is bad.
I had to talk to her in private.
I have to make sure she understands.
At the suggestion of Boner-san, I've decided I have to talk to her in private.
I'm so glad that I, a man, am here to make sure that this woman understands.
We've kept Meiko away from all that had happened this morning, so she was still in the dark about Rikako-san.
お姉さんはちょっと具合が悪いんだ。静かにしといてあげて。
うんねえお外行っていい
Sure, go out, play, disappear.
危険じゃないかね。
Is it dangerous?
私見とくよ。すぐそこなら危なくもないでしょ。
The two left.
安永
Damn it, I'm not gonna be able to talk to her privately and explain the situation to her.
何かな
With my boner.
With my boner. Hey, boner, can you explain the situation?
ちょっと取ってきてほしいものがね
手洗いを借りる。
Thanks for announcing
Okay.
that. But thank you for letting everybody know. More and more people left. They probably didn't feel comfortable standing up until now. Tai-san just continued chanting, though. It was like she lived in another world. Besides her, all that was left was... Oh, oh no! Haru-chan. The way she constantly shifted in her seat made it clear she felt uncomfortable.
匠さんのことは残念だったね。
I tried talking to her.
ええ知恵姉もずっと頼ってたし。
植松里香子さんは
私あの人苦手よ。気味悪いもの。
ちえみちゃんは平気そうだったけど。
知恵姉は強いもん。
彼女、植松さんがこっちへ来たのっていつ頃のこと？
2年か3年前。だいぶ前よ。
2 or 3 years ago? God damn.
Hmm.
That seemed like plenty of time to get to know a person, if you ask me. Or maybe not. Yasumizu people had been suffering at the hands of the village heads for generations. Of course, they couldn't just accept her.
彼女は長者だというが、植松家というのは一体どういう家なんだ？
何が聞きたいのよ。よそ者はおとなしくしてろって言われるの何度目ですか？
ごめん。これは無神経だった。じゃあ別の話にしよう。それはいい？
別にいいけど。
I looked around. As I saw Yasunaga-kun walk upstairs, I lowered my voice and
君
asked,
にとって、モッチーはどんな存在だったんだ？
Dude!
Jesus. Sorry, I'm gonna change the subject to something even more sensitive.
なんで聞くの？
お葬式代わりだよ。
え？
お葬式では、亡くなった人のことを話すだろう。死者の思い出を話すことは、霊魂の供養になるらしいよ。
Okay, I guess that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
なんか意外。
Well, to be
Nani ga?
fair, Haru, he's not doing it to be nice. He's
Yeah,
fishing for info.
He's fishing for info.
Because he's a
Motto.
shitbag.
血も涙もない人だと思ってたから。
We hate
Oh no,
him
he is
so
cold and
much.
言い出すっ
heartless.
て思わなかった。
I thought you were cold and heartless. I am. I'm just thinking with my boner.
I'm just really trying to get in Chiemi's pants.
That was just rude.
No,
I'm
she
so
was spot
offended.
on.
A stopped boner is right twice a day? Alright, well that's the episode title.
野里の子だったけど、選ぶった感じじゃ全然なかった。
So, Mochi was an Osato. Okay. That's Kiyonosuke's family.
Yeah, I think I
すっ
remember
ごく
hearing
変だっ
that.
たし、知恵姉と同じくらいいろんな問題を起こしてたけど、人を傷つけることはしなかったし。みんなはモッチーのこと頭おかしいって言ってたけど、
Mochi was just living his truth,
私は
man.
そうは思わない。とっても面白い人。多分テレビとかに出て大活躍するようなのが向いてたと思うわ。一つ上だったけど、ほとんど同い年の友達みたいに接してくれたし、楽しかったわよ。
Hey, remember being so young that being a year apart was like a vast chasm of time that could not be crossed?
I try not to think about that.
兄ちゃんもすごく仲良かったし。
そんなに？
うん。いつも一緒にいたし、学校でもヒーローみたいな二人組だったよ。
Pair of heroes.
時々横にいて寂しくなるくらい仲良かった。
Ah, the third wheel.
Yeah. Her visage dimmed. It felt like she was easier to understand than most. If Mochi had really liked her, it must have been a tough love. She hadn't even looked at him in that regard, and being with
Oh my
Yasunaga-kun and seeing him was fired with
god.
jealousy.
でも
I know.
彼はもういない。安永君は辛いだろうな。
Like, the only, like, romantic subplot I actually give a shit about was between Takumi and Kaori.
Agreed.
彼を手伝ってあげたら
Like, I don't know. I found it deeply appealing that this widow was being helped by this giant slab of beef who really liked her.
Yeah. And was like a good father figure to her teenage sons.
Yes. And honestly cared about them too.
Yeah.
Yasunaga-kun was going up the stairs again. I gestured at him with my chin.
なんかお手伝い中っぽいし、ちえみちゃんは外だし。君はモッチーの代わりにはなれないかもしれないし、そこに立つべきはちえみちゃんなのかもしれないが、最後に決めるのは彼らだとして、それまでにしてあげたいことを我慢する必要はないんじゃないか。助けになりたいとは思うんだろ。
あなたも？
まあ、彼女には一宿一飯以上の恩があるからね。下心がないとは言わないが、それ以上に
At least he's
彼女を支
admitting.
えたい。
Yeah, that's fair.
彼女は僕には見えないものに随分苦しんでいるみたいだから。
やっぱりあなたのこと誤解してた
No,
か
he
も。
didn't.
No, don't fall for that.
You understood him very well.
行くのかい？
昨日のこと謝らなきゃだし。
じゃあ僕も外へ。
We stood up at the same time. Though Hana-chan was always on edge, deep inside she was a really honest girl. I worried that she'd fall victim to some scumbag like me down the road.
Oh my god. I'm glad he admits it.
Dude,
he probably is saying this to be tongue-in-cheek in the privacy of his own head, but
Yeah.
like, buddy, you're a fucking scumbag.
That's kind of the other thing that it's like, okay, we're piloting this idiot. Like, the least you could do is make him, like, I don't know, a decent person. But, like, you just came out swinging with the fact that he's a big fucking creep, and he admits to it. So how am I supposed to really care about him?
Yep.
何？
やっぱりあなたは逃げた方が。いや、なんでもない。
She cut herself short and hurried upstairs.
Interesting.
Apparently, I'd gained some of her trust, but it didn't look like I could get anything more useful than that bit of advice. Unlike the other inhabitants, she just believed that escape was possible. That was why she tried to do it yesterday. That might have been the extent of it.
それで誰が怪しいと思う？
はるちゃんと安永くん。
So, who do you suspect? Well, my boner says you're innocent. So, I walked up to Chiemi, who was looking after Meiko, and we started a
はる
conversation.
ちゃんはともかくイヤスくんなの？
容疑者は実質4人。タエさんと香織さん、そしてその2人だ。このうち、昨日モッチーらが死んだ時に外出していたのは彼1人。さらに狼の狡猾さを考えれば、彼以外に考えづらい。
God, the fallacy that he actually believes that Kiyonosuke and Meiko are the monkey and human, like, that is like the first thing I would have questioned.
Yeah.
ずる賢いってこと？
Well, I mean, that's what's going to get us all the way to the end of this particular thing, to learn all of the things that we're suspecting.
Yeah, so we could
Then
get
we can
shunted back
reset
into our dumb meat body with new knowledge.
Yep.
そうなの？
今日、なぜ匠さんは死んだ？
なぜって、狼に殺されたから。
それを聞きたいんじゃない。
一体何が。もしかしてこういうこと？雲に守られなかったから。
正解。おそらくもう雲は死んでる。蛇である匠さんは普通に考えれば初日確かに雲に守られたはずだ。
you're assuming a lot here.
Yep.
そして2日目である昨日、雲が別の誰かを守るべきだという話は一度も出なかったんだよね。
うん。
ということは雲は引き続き重要度の高い匠さんを守ったと考えるべきだ。雲が生きてたら。
それはそうか。
宴開始後にやられた匠さん以外の人は勘蔵さん、吉次くん、もっち、狼じじいし、この4人の中に雲がいて、なおかつそれを狼は見抜き殺して、その上で匠さんを始末した。そうとしか考えられない。
No, that's not the only logical explanation. That is based entirely upon the theory of what you assume is that Kyonosuke Shi was human, that Takumi was the snake. Like, you are literally taking people at their word for this stuff, and that is the worst possible thing you could do in a game of werewolf.
Yep.
それは考えすぎじゃない？ 4人も死んだからそろそろ雲もいないだろうってことかも。
楽天的に考えればそうだね。しかし相手が本当に賢いやつだったら、その油断が最後の致命傷になる。
You mean the thing that you're actively doing is underestimating them? You're doing that. You're doing that right fucking now.
It's fine.
You underestimated. No, this is infuriating. He has underestimated everybody, and now he's talking about how underestimating them would be a fatal mistake. It's that unflappable bullshit confidence that he should not have.
Yeah.
でもどうやって雲を見抜けるって。
声が大きい。
Wow. Fuck you. Push him into the Saranaga.
Yep.
なんでもないよ。
Here's our little
Neko-chan.
wolf. She's listening to your every word. She understands more than she lets on.
Yeah, she's like, well, okay. She's sitting there playing like, these dumb idiots.
Mm-hmm.
She resumed scribbling on the ground. She was completely absorbed in it for some reason.
雲についてはもしかしたら見抜けた可能性があったかもしれない。
それってどうやって？
Who knows? Who
初
cares?
日
That's not the point.
勘蔵さんが安永くんに喋らせてから最終決定をさせたって言ってただろ。
Okay.
僕の見立てでは彼はもっと率先して動くタイプだし、初日は誰も殺さないという判断を下しそうにもない。
まあそう言われたらそうかも。
彼が喋って決定が行われれば場に与える影響はとてつもなく大きい。そしておそらく決断はある程度正しい。だから狼に狙われやすい、こう僕らは考えたよね。
そうだけど同じ時にヤス君も狙われやすいって話したじゃん。
逆を返せば自分が狼なら狼に狙われるリスクはないわけだ。それよりも大事なことを黙っていて不自然がられる方が危ない。だから当たり障りのない情報は出す。もしそうならとても賢い選択だ。そうは思わない？
でも肝臓じいちゃんがそんなに喋らなかったって話とどうつながるの？
これから言うのは完全に憶測だけど。
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
all
肝
speculation,
臓さんが
buddy.
動かなかったのは権威を発揮して狼に目をつけられるのを防ぐため。なぜその必要があったか。彼が自身の生存が全員の生存にとって必要だと判断したから。なぜなら
まさかカゴ持ちだったから？
そうだ。それもおそらく雲。
どうしてそこまで言えるの？
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Because I'm a mediocre man. That's all the reason I
リ
need.
スクが最も大きいカゴだ。なぜなら自分を守れないからね。それでいて 正体がバレない限り、狼に対して一夜分無駄にさせられる可能性がある。だから彼は極力目立たないように振る舞おうとした。しかしそれが逆に狼の注意を引いたんだ。あの人が黙ってるなんてよほどの覚悟を持っているに違いないとね。それで狼は彼をまんまと初日に仕留めることに成功し、丸裸になった匠さんを翌日に片付けた。
憶測だってのは分かってるけど、なんとなくそうだって気もする。
Thanks, I had to die 30 times to get that information.
もしそこまで敵が意図的だったと
He
する
hasn't
と、
died enough. Let's
現
be
状起きてい
real.
る異常事態も狼のショートカット戦術と考えた方がいい。
どういうこと？
ルール外で人が死にすぎている。吉嗣君、モッチー、狼じじい氏、そしてほぼ死人扱いの植松里香子。狼にとっては予定外の死人が出ることは歓迎すべき。宴の回数が減ればくくられる危険が減るから。だから意図的に人が死ぬように仕向けているとしたら。
話はわかるけど、どうやって？
吉嗣君については、例えば夜に出歩くように仕向けて汚れに追いやった。モッチーと狼じじい氏については動機まではわからないが、植松里香子に彼らを殺させたとすれば辻褄が合う。
How would it all make sense if you don't have a motive?
え？
タエさんは植松家の役割に絡めて汚れの原因を語っていたが、もっと筋の通った説がある。
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah.
植松里香子が2人を殺したとすれば、1日1人しか殺せない宴のルールに抵触し、汚れの対象となるんだ。
Okay, but wasn't she in the feast hall when they died? Or am I completely misremembering?
She was one of the 5 that went out.
Oh, okay.
I put aside the idea that there were apparently 2 types of corruption, slaughter and madness.
でもそんなの無理でしょ。彼女あんな服着てるんだよ。着替える暇なんてないじゃん。それに男2人相手に彼女が挑んで勝てるわけないってば。
I mean, one was a really old man.
Yeah, one was a really old man.
And the other
was kind of a small kiddo.
Yeah.
じゃあこういうのは、モッチーと狼じじい氏、どちらかがどちらかを殺し、残った方を彼女が殺した。
Okay, if that was the case, then why would she be the
彼女は
target?
汚れの対象になる。
Right.
Why would she be responsible for someone, like, why would she be held responsible if someone else had done a murder, and then she did a murder on the murderer?
Because she'd be the responsible, he's saying it right now.
I understand that's what he's saying, but I'm trying to, like, parse, like, is it just, like, you know, one death regardless of how it happens, or regardless of the instigator? Is that what's going on?
I think that's how I understood it.
That seems weird.
Yeah.
何か割烹着でも羽織ればいけるかもしれない。検証するまで不可能とは言えない。
それはでも一人だって相手は男で。
That old man was so old.
I know. A stiff breeze would have killed him.
あるいは殺し合って互いに弱ってたかも。
Okay, at least he did point out that the one guy was senile.
Yeah.
そんな、なんでそんなこと考えられるの？
だから全部憶測だ。動機だって不明。しかし話の筋は通っている。
I mean, barely makes sense.
じゃあ、それがどうして狼の陰謀につながるっていうの？
Yeah. How's that related to wolves? Oh, what, wolves?
動機の話になるとわからないけど、弱みを握ったとか、殺すように仕向ける方法はあるんじゃないかな。
There are so many
彼女自身が狼だ。
Yeah.
Chiemi was at a loss for words. I had no choice but to continue myself.
Okay, but if she is a wolf, then it wouldn't have mattered because one person has to die and the other person has to be killed by a wolf.
Right.
So if that were the case, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
それは ないよ。狼は数が減るほど不利じゃん。
確かに狼対人の人数比で言えば一人対二人はうまい交換じゃない。しかし誰もがその打算を働かせられるとは限らない。誰もが合理的に動くわけじゃない。非合理的な
Except
ことは
for
多分起こってる
me,
し
I'm the most logical
その
one
全てを
here.
予測
I'm
す
the
ること
most
は不可能
sane
だ。
person here.
いや、
I barely believe in the supernatural.
でも諦めるわけにはいかないだろ
もう何も考えたくないよ。
う。ごめん、いろいろ言ってさ。
Yeah, you did.
うん、こっちこそごめん。でもちょっときつい。
This is a bit hard for me. I prefer guns
僕
and
も
murdering people.
こ
I
れ以上
mean,
君たちがこんなものに付き合う必要はないと思う。脱出するなら協力するけど。
You people.
無理だよ。分かってるんだ。ここに生まれたならここで死ぬしかないんだよ。
damn.
そんなのは単なる思い込みだよ。
神様が見えない人には分からないよ。
ああ、わからないな。困ったな。